Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Fresh Baked Disney, the best of Disney Baked Fresh Daily. I'm your host, David. And today, in this episode of Fresh Baked, we're going to be talking about what is new and newsworthy at the Disneyland Resort. Now, when I came to the park today, I had an array of things that I thought were going to be news or newsworthy. But what surprised me the most is what wound up being the biggest story of the day, of the weekend, and that is the crowds. Today is this weekend has been a definite Tier 5 bonkers busy weekend, and I was not expecting it. There's a number of reasons why that might be the case. The Rise effect is still in effect. Rise of Resistance is pulling in big crowds. It's a 3-day holiday weekend, President's Day, but a couple things on that is that I've been to President's Days before, one like this, and I've seen Rise of Resistance at its peak. First couple of weeks that it opened wasn't like this. Today I had one of the more difficult times I've ever had in getting into the park. Lines where I wasn't expecting lines longer than I have been seeing. At 9 a.m. This is the line to get into the park at 9 a.m. Everywhere you go, there are longer lines than usual. 2-hour waits. This is Starbucks on Main Street. I've seen Starbucks on Main Street like this. 8 a.m. Rise of Resistance morning. Sure, but not at 9 a.m. when everybody's in. And it's no different. Starbucks at DCA, at the Fiddler Piper Practical Cafe. I nearly walked right through this because I was not expecting to see a crowd of people filling Carthay Circle. But don't take my word for it. Let me take you around the park and show you what we've run into both Saturday and Sunday, all throughout the day. Check out the crowds and the wait times, the queues, just a general mass of people here at Disneyland.
Here, no.
Because there's like a side like that.
And it's not just the attraction. Of course, you've got your usual suspects: Indiana Jones, Space Mountain. Those have incredibly long lines. FastPass is no bargain at Space Mountain either. that's standby on the left, FastPass on the right. What about Fantasyland? Again, usual suspects. Peter Pan, which is bonkers. That's a lie. But just go to the other side of the land and check out Pinocchio, which, it's using the full queue. No big surprise there on a busy day. But wait till you see, look at this. Guys, they put down extended switchbacks tape on the ground at Pinocchio. Never have I ever seen anything like that in February. But it's not just the attraction. It's the restaurants. Look at Pizza Planet. It's the gift shops. It's just walking through the park, walking through Adventureland. Impossible. Somewhere down there, Fresh Baked, is a new shrimp kebab. Shrimp with spiced ham and some kind of pina colada sauce that I was going to try today. But with the crowds today, I wasn't even able to get it. It's not on mobile order. I tried that as well. A lot of times these seasonal items, these specialty items, they don't make it to the mobile order menu because they're temporary. And that line is good. 60 minutes, I'm guessing. Maybe less, maybe 45. But this does also give you some perspective on the thickness of the crowds today. It's not getting better, it's getting worse the longer I stick around. What about food? Well, we've got a few new treats in the park this week. One of them is here at Tomorrowland Terrace at the Galactic Grill, a galactic parfait. As a treat, it's chocolate cake, blue cheesecake, purple mousse, and raspberry marmalade. Now, all of that is interesting, and I would like to try that as a treat. But really, the headline here on this thing is how well it's been created. It's a beautiful. It looks like like a galaxy, like a space galaxy. They've done an amazing job making this thing look like it does. Now, one of these days, when it's not so busy, we'll actually go in there and try one. Meanwhile, one treat that we did get to try on Saturday was the chocolate strawberry beignets over at the French Market at the Mint Julep Bar. We talk about those in depth later on this week, but I will say thumbs up. They're pretty tasty. One of the better beignets that they've had so far. In other news, last week we took you to Autopia to tell you about the new FastPass that was coming. It launched earlier this week on Friday. We tested it on Saturday. What are the results? Overall, I think it's a net positive. My concern about where they inserted you into the queue was not a problem this time. You get into the queue very deep. You skip all of that backwards, the stuff in the back, and the turnaround where that little pre-show thing is. And we talk about this in detail, Ronnie and I, in our trip report coming up later this week. But I am in favor of that. It cut down the wait time considerably, and it's had a negligible effect so far on standby, 45 minutes as I record this, which seems like a lot, but when you consider how busy the park is this week, that's doable. But having said that, it is going to be one of the most tedious, slower standby queues that you're going to find anywhere in the park right now. But what about Monsters, Inc.? That also opened up this weekend, and we're going to go test that out right now. All right, what about Monsters, Inc.? Well, first of all, I got a FastPass intentionally for mid-afternoon. Early afternoon. It's 1 o'clock. I could have gotten one anytime this morning, 9, 10, 11, whatever, but I wanted to see how FastPass was impacted in the middle of the day. Now I'm looking for standby. I don't see one. You think that's standby? No, that's not standby, you guys. Well, it is, but not for Monsters, Inc., by the way. That's to get a michelada. That line goes all the way to the Coca-Cola stand down there. I don't even know what they call that thing. Ice cold refreshment, but I digress. That's just more of the busyness that is here today. It is time for my FastPass. Let's see where this thing takes us. Well, I have to say it's pretty much as we expected from last week's video where we said that it was going to be FastPass to the left, standby to the right. The FastPass queue would just go straight to the door while the standby queue runs all the way out deep into the extended queue area, the exterior queue, significantly deep. The app said the wait was an hour, or I should say 110 minutes, but the sign on the door said 60 minutes, so I'm not sure which is accurate. Whatever the case may be, there is only one thing to take away from this test of the FastPass at Monsters, Inc., and that is to get a FastPass. If riding Monsters, Inc. is an instinct that you possess, if that is something that you desire to do not take any chances, plan ahead, and get a FastPass. I was all in. I was about 10 minutes into my vehicle. It was about 5 minutes into the door and another 5 minutes on the interior queue, and I was in my vehicle. So 10 minutes versus minimum 60 via standby, or up to 110 if you believe the app. As for merchandise, we got a couple updates for you. One of them is right there where the Straw Hatters are playing. Inside there is the new edition of the main attraction Minnie's main attraction line this week, or this month, is the Pirates of the Caribbean line. They only had the 3 items inside that shop: the pin set, the plush, and the coffee mug. There was also these mini ears. They were gone. We happened to get the last 2. They were gone in about an hour at the park yesterday morning, Saturday morning. And then just around the way inside the Emporium, and these are found everywhere though, but inside the Emporium I found these ink and paint pins as well. They go along with the ink and paint collection that we discovered at World of Disney 2 weeks ago. They keep adding more and more merch to this line. And that fresh baked is what's new and newsworthy at the Disneyland Resort this week. We've got actually one more thing to talk about, one more newsworthy item, and that is the ticket prices. They increased earlier this week, as I'm sure you all have heard. And I'm not going to get into a whole lot of commentary on that, but I did want to talk about its effect. Now, I get it. It's only been a week, so it's probably too early to form any kind of actual opinion on if there's any impact on the crowds, but for me, it feels the same as it always does. Every single year, they raise the ticket prices. There is some backlash, but the crowd levels remain unchanged at the park. If anything, they've increased over the years. No, pretty much it's all systems go here at Disneyland, just like it always has been, and I expect it will be for the next 100 years from now. So that's it for today at Disneyland and what's new and newsworthy. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll hope to see you next week. Fresh Bake.